Welcome everyone to a recorded open house for the Dietetic Internship and Master's Degree programs affiliated with the Department of Nutrition at Case Western Reserve University in Cleveland, Ohio. We're so happy that you're interested in applying to one or more of our programs, and we're excited to share them with you today. So we'll start out by talking about an overview of Case Western Reserve University, the Department of Nutrition, and some of the similarities and differences between our programs. And then we'll talk specifically about the master's degree option that goes with the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center DI. I'm Dr. Hand, and I'll be presenting those first two sections. Then I'll turn it over to Mrs. Aun, Director of the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center Dietetic Internship, for specifics on that program. And we'll wrap up with Professor Tammy Randall, Director of the Case Western Reserve University MS in Public Health Nutrition with Dietetic Internship. So a little bit about Case Western Reserve University. We are proud to be one of the leading independent research universities in the nation. We are consistently ranked first in Ohio and somewhere in the 40s for national universities. The rankings came out just a few days before we recorded this from US News and World Report. And this year we're ranked 44th among national universities. We are a mid-sized school with about 11,000 students from all 50 states and 94 countries, but those students are studying a broad range of subjects. We have world-class academic programs in engineering, law, medicine, dentistry, nursing, management, and the liberal arts. So if you come to graduate school here, you'll have the opportunity to learn alongside students in fields near and far to your own. Case Western Reserve University is located in the University Circle neighborhood of Cleveland. University Circle is the cultural and healthcare hub of Cleveland. It's about 5 miles east of the formal sort of business downtown, and it's a beautiful area. You can see here that Case Western has campus space on both sides of Euclid Avenue, which is a main thoroughfare. We're very close by to the VA Medical Center, so interns who participate in that program are very close between their two places. And this purple star indicates the location of our Department of Nutrition on campus. Specifically, the Department of Nutrition has a long history. We were established in 1913. We are located within the School of Medicine, which provides us with a strong research emphasis and a dedicated health sciences library. The department boasts small class sizes that have low numbers of students to the faculty. We're also very proud at Case Western of our strong history of excellence in the field of dietetics. As you'll hear later on, our programs have been around for a long time and have consistently been at the forefront of the evolution of dietetics education. We also maintain close ties to the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics and the Commission on Dietetic Registration, as well as the Accreditation Council for Education in Nutrition and Dietetics. And so this slide has pictures of former and current faculty members who are in leadership roles with one of those three organizations. So as I've alluded to a couple of times, we do have 2 dietetic internship and master's degree programs that are affiliated with Case Western Reserve University. On the left, we have the combined dietetic internship and master's degree program, or CDI MDP, that affiliates with the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center Dietetic Internship. This program accepts 12 interns each year and has the internship rotations based in hospitals. Mrs. Aun will talk more about this later, but it's important to note that the VA in Cleveland also accepts students who have an existing master's degree for a DI only program. But if you need a master's degree, then you'll have a program affiliated with Case Western. The second program is the MS in Public Health Nutrition and Dietetic Internship. This program accepts 7 new interns each year, and these interns have rotations based in community sites, leading to a program concentration in public health and community nutrition. So first, we're going to talk about the similarities between these two programs. Both programs are 16 months. They start in August and end the following December with a formal graduation ceremony, although degrees are officially conferred in January and verification statements are provided in January. Both programs lead to a Master of Science degree and eligibility to take the RDN exam, although the specific degree provided is different. For the VA, it's an MS in Nutrition, and for the Public Health Dietetic Internship, it's an MS in Public Health Nutrition. Both programs take some overlapping coursework, and both are non-thesis master's degrees. To graduate with either of these master's degrees, students must complete a minimum of 30 credits total, with 18 of those in nutrition and at the 400 plus level, which is how we designate graduate courses here at Case Western. And while in those courses, students must maintain a minimum cumulative GPA of 3.0. So why do we think that you should choose a combined master's degree and dietetic internship program in contrast to perhaps completing them separately? Our programs have a real advantage of having the courses and rotations be complementary to each other. And this is in both the topics that you'll study and practice, but also in the workload. We really consider how to balance those two responsibilities for all of our students. This is an opportunity to study with a cohort of students with similar backgrounds and experiences, and our interns do make really good friends with each other and continue to stay in touch after graduation. And we are proud to offer a high quality program within an efficient timeline. So I'm now going to focus in on the master's degree option for the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center. Again, this is the coursework that would be required for students who enter the VA program without an existing master's degree. If you will have a master's degree and DPD verification statement at the time you start the VA program, then the coursework is not relevant to you and you can skip ahead to Mrs. Owen's section. So this is a joint program that we administer together. And so you will want information from both the Cleveland VA Medical Center Dietetic Internship and from Case Western. And so I've put these both on the slides for your reference. This is a program that has been working since 1965 when it was founded by Case Western in conjunction with clinical partners around the city of Cleveland. And it was one of the first hospital-based dietetic internship programs to require graduate coursework. And so we have been doing this for a really long time and think that we have come up with a successful model for educating master's prepared registered dietitians. This is a 16-month program, so I've provided a schedule outline on this slide. In the fall of the first year, students in this program take a class on Monday, and then they take another class on Wednesday evening. Tuesday through Friday are dedicated to completing rotations at the VA Medical Center. In the spring of the first year, students take classes on Monday. They participate in internship rotations at the VA Tuesday through Friday. And also one of the courses allows students to participate in a standard research project to give them exposure to the core tenets of research and to assist them in evidence-based practice. In the summer of the first year, students in this program don't take any classes, but they complete rotations Monday through Friday. And then in fall of the second year, classes are available Monday through Friday. I do just want to pause and mention that the VA also participates in fall match. And while that's not the focus of this presentation, students who participate in fall match can go through a slightly modified program schedule. Essentially, they do what's listed here as fall of second year in the spring after they match if they wish, and then they still start required classes and rotations at the same time as spring match students. So here's the course schedule. In that first fall, students take 8 credits, evidence-based practice for healthcare professionals, diabetes prevention and management, pediatric nutrition, and a seminar in culturally aware nutrition practice. In spring of the first year, students take 7 credits, a second seminar in diabetes focusing on advanced concepts and current trends, investigative methods in nutrition, which is the research class, and then an advanced practice in nutrition seminar. In the fall of the second year, when the students are full-time at Case Western with no rotations, students take 15 credit hours, and those are all nutrition and graduate level electives. This program is exciting because only 15 of 30 credits are required. So that gives you a lot of flexibility to focus in on your own areas of interest that perhaps have evolved after your rotations. And so some nutrition elective options are listed here on the screen. You can see they're broad and include topics like integrative and functional nutrition, sports nutrition, and public health nutrition. We anticipate that students will have the ability to complete a certificate and or concentration during using those elective credits. So there is planned a graduate certificate in diabetes prevention and management, which includes 15 credits total, 6 of them being from the required courses, and then 9 of the elective credits can be used to complete this certificate. There's also planned to be a concentration in culinary medicine. This consists of 9 credits total, which can all be completed in the final semester. And so I say planned just because these have not been formally approved by the state yet, but we anticipate that they will be available. We have had great program outcomes from this partnership with the Cleveland VA. Our students publish and present research through their research coursework. They are qualified to take the registered dietitian exam. They become active members of professional organizations and are very successful at becoming employed. Graduates find employment in a variety of settings, including Cleveland area hospitals and pediatric, community, and academic medical centers or VA medical centers throughout the US, as well as in the food industry. And some go on to obtain PhDs and become educators. The cost of this degree at Case Western is listed on this slide. In the first and second semester, students are charged per credit hour because they're not full-time students. In the third semester, they are charged a full-time flat rate. And so you can see here the total program cost. And then we are pleased that the Department of Nutrition offers $7,000 in tuition assistance for students enrolled in this program. And so after that tuition assistance is applied, the cost of the master's degree is just over $50,000. Federal and non-federal financial aid is also available. So the application process for this program begins on DICAS and D&D Digital by applying to and ranking the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center. Students who are matched to that program are automatically accepted into the Case Western Graduate School and will be assisted with completion of that paperwork after acceptance into the DI, so that there is no need to apply separately to the Case Western School of Graduate Studies until after a successful match with the Cleveland VA Medical Center dietetic internship. So at this point, I'm going to stop sharing these slides for a minute and pull up Mrs. Own's slides to tell you more about the VA Medical Center rotations and other program details. Okay, it's all yours, Mrs. Own.
Thank you, Dr. Hand. And welcome everyone. Thank you, as Dr. Hand said, for the interest you have in our various programs. We're pleased to share the information today. I wanted to start off with some of the benefits of that dietetic interns at the Lewis Stokes Cleveland VA Medical Center get from the experience. It is a paid internship. Interns are paid a little over $15,000 over the course of the 11-month dietetic internship. We do have a focus with research processes and applications. For our rotations, there is a one-on-one dietitian to dietetic intern ratio for the majority of our rotations. We use minimal simulation or shadowing. It's a focus of a rigorous hands-on experiences with the preceptors. As Dr. Hand explained, the program will offer an internship only option over the course of 11 months, which will be a paid training experience, or interns who do need a master's degree can do the combined program of the internship and the master's degree in 16 months. And I do want to clarify that for the internship only option, we're accepting applicants who already have a master's degree for the internship only option. The last benefit that graduates experience is that they do have preferred hiring status with a national employer, the VA, once they complete the program. So a little bit of history. Dr. Hand did a very nice job of the history of our affiliation between the VA and Case Western Reserve University. As she explained, we've been affiliated since 1965, and we are pleased to share that starting with the 23-24 internship year, our applicants will have two options of doing the internship only if they already have a master's degree, or applying for the dietetic internship combined with the case master's degree, if that is the route they wish to take. I did want to share the mission statement of our internship. We do have a foundation. We do provide a foundation in research and evidence-based nutrition. We like to make sure that our interns are exposed to various interdisciplinary team experiences, that they have broad exposure to our specialty and advanced level practice areas and the dietitians that work in those areas, with the focus of preparing our graduates to become entry-level registered dietitian nutritionists with a Master of Science degree, who can deliver competent nutrition care to both veterans and the public in a compassionate and ethical manner. So the program length, the internship only is 11 months. Supervised practice will be on Tuesdays through Fridays during that time. This will align the internship with colleagues, other interns who may be doing the internship and graduate work at the same time. It will also allow interns who are doing the internship only to have some free time if they did want to get outside employment. Internship and graduate work will take 16 months. Mondays are reserved for graduate classes, except for in the fall when there is a Wednesday evening graduate class, and Tuesdays through Fridays will be supervised practice. And our program accepts up to 12 interns annually, with that being a mixture of dietetic internship only or the internship and graduate degree. So taking a look at the timeline for the dietetic internship only, interns who match to our program will start the internship in August. We call the August through December part of the program phase 1. We give interns a 2-week winter break. We recommence supervised practice training in January through June for phase 2 of the internship. And that's, we reserve some of the more specialized rotations and advanced practice rotations for phase 2. And then we conclude our internship with 3 weeks of staff relief in July. For those interns who are interested in the master's degree DI portion of the program, I wanted to show how that would work. So interns would be doing supervised practice August through December at the same time that they are doing graduate work, as Dr. Hand explained. There's a winter break for both the internship and the master's degree portion of the program. And then classes and the internship restart in January. Classes run through May, whereas the internship continues through June and July. June and August, there are no summer classes, but that last 3rd semester of graduate work will run from August through December, with the internship finishing in July. So the internship finishes a little bit before the graduate work in the way that our programs are laid out. Our program will provide over 1,200 hours of supervised practice hours. We do feel that this allows our interns time to integrate all the clinical, community, and food service knowledge that they need to integrate in order to be successful dietitians. We have over 42 weeks of VA rotations. There are 3 weeks of non-VA rotations. We do have a public policy day that we do with their internships around town. There's a pediatric lecture series. We have various internship assignments that focus on special areas that the interns do not get a lot of exposure to at the VA, such as pregnancy and lactation case studies, pediatric learning modules. We also have a career portfolio we'll have the interns do. And then one of the things we're proudest of that came out of COVID, COVID in itself was not a good experience, but it did give us the opportunity to train our interns in using virtual and remote technologies. So all of our interns have exposure and training using our VA Virtual Medical Center, VA Video Connect, both of which serve our veterans and allow us to provide medical nutrition therapy remotely, as well as other remote technologies such as using Microsoft Teams for Business, Zoom calls, and etc. Taking a look at the layout of our supervised practice rotations, we do start off the program with 2 weeks of orientation, and then throughout the program, we have a week of clinical nutrition management, 17 weeks in various clinical rotations, which I'll go into in more depth on a later slide, 13 weeks of community rotations, 8 weeks are reserved for food service. We do have a non-VA rotation for pediatrics that we enjoy our affiliation with. We do offer our interns 2 weeks to select an enrichment rotation within the Northeast Ohio area. I'll go into those various choices on a later slide as well. And as I explained, we do conclude the program with 3 weeks of clinical staff experience for the supervised practice training. We do have the 2 weeks of winter break, and then if a federal holiday falls within the training time, the Tuesday through Friday training time, interns will get that day off as well. So going into a little what occurs in each rotation. For the clinical nutrition management rotation, the interns work directly with our chief clinical dietitian, clinical program manager, working on various administrative assignments, given points of contact with our advanced practice dietitians to gather quality improvement data, complete chart reviews, update various policies and procedures. So getting really basically a good understanding of the clinical programs and applicable benchmarks. The way that our clinical rotations are broken down is there's a total of 17 weeks in our clinical areas. Those areas that the interns spend time in are our medicine rotation, spinal cord injury, surgery, our community living center, which is our long-term care area. The interns spend time with our certified specialist in oncology dietitian. We do have a VA dialysis center. So for our renal rotation, our interns get exposure to chronic kidney disease as well as end-stage renal disease within the hospital and at a VA dialysis center. For critical care, interns spend time in our surgical and cardiac intensive care units. And then we also have our pediatric affiliation. For our community areas that the interns spend time in, they'll do a rotation with our weight management programs. Also in our various nutrition clinics with focuses on cardiovascular risk reduction, exposure to eating disorders. Our Parma clinic has exposure to whole health as well as weight management and eating disorders. Interns spend time with our diabetes self-management education and support dietitians. They spend time with our geriatric dietitian. And then a VA specific program is home-based primary care, where our dietitians go out to the home to visit the veterans, and the interns will do a rotation both at our main medical center with the Wade Park home-based primary care and one of the other home-based primary care locations, either Lorain or Lake County. And then for food service management, 8 weeks are reserved for food service management. Interns spend 3 to 4 weeks in phase 1, and then either 3 to 4 weeks in phase 2, doing food service management. And the way that's broken up is during phase 2, the assignments are a little bit more advanced, a little bit more in depth. So the rotations build on each other throughout the program. And 1 week is reserved for food service week. And that week allows us to go off-site from the VA and do field trips to organic farms, one of our local markets, to Nestle Professionals, in different areas where we might not have had the opportunity to observe during our regular rotation schedule. Taking a look at the enrichment rotation, the enrichment rotation is 2 weeks, and it's an opportunity for the dietetic interns to either select to spend more time in a VA practice area that they're interested in, or select an off-site rotation that they might be interested in. Current affiliations that we do have within the Northeast Ohio area are with the Greater Cleveland Food Bank. We do have pediatric affiliations with local children's hospitals. We have an affiliation with a local school nutrition program, as well as private practice. Some of the areas that our interns have most recently been interested in spending enrichment time have been with our Healthy Teaching Kitchen food security program at the VA, our community-based inspections and domiciliary at the VA, our whole health, our eating disorders, and our surgical areas are also areas of great interest for our interns. The concluding experience for the internship itself is 3 weeks of staff relief, and interns can choose to spend that time in a clinical area in one of the community outpatient clinics or in our food service systems management. And basically, interns cover the preceptor's wards or duties with the preceptor available for guidance. But we do like to have the 3-week experience, as we feel that the first week, the interns are getting used to being in staff relief. The second week, they're kind of getting a hang of the flow of staff relief. And that third week, they really hit their stride and gain a lot of comfort from kind of knowing where they're supposed to be when and really what the expectations are. So we really feel that having that third week wraps everything up really nicely. Our nutrition and food services professional staff is very accomplished. The majority of our dietitians are graduates of the VA Dietetic Internship, Case Western Reserve University collaboration. More than 90% of our dietitians currently have a master's degree. And then many of our staff have specialty certifications based on the area of which they practice. So we do have quite a few dietitians with CDCES, the board certification in advanced diabetes management, renal specialty area, our certified nutrition support clinician, oncology, weight management, and adult weight management areas. I do want to share that the VA is very committed to training healthcare professionals for the nation, and they take the fact that there is a VA sponsored dietetic internship at the Cleveland VA very seriously, in that they've provided a dedicated training room for the interns, with each intern getting their own desk, computer, and locker. These are a couple of pictures of that training area. The VA also purchases access to the Academy Evidence Analysis Library, the Electronic Nutrition Care Process Terminology Manual. We also have access to the Nutrition Care Manual, as well as the Sports Nutrition Care Manual, the Cochrane Library, the Natural Medicines Database, and the Inman's RDN Exam Review, as well as numerous other journals and other evidence-based resources through our VA library system. There are some criteria to keep in mind if you are interested in applying to the Cleveland VA internship. You must be a United States citizen. To meet the admission requirements for graduate school at Case Western, your GPA must be above a 3. All men over the age of 18 must be registered with the Selective Service System. We do evaluate our candidates in terms of academic achievement. We take a look at their personal statement, their work, volunteer leadership, and research experiences. We don't require GRE scores, but we do look to see if there is any work experience in an area related to dietetics, as we consider that beneficial but not mandatory. And as Dr. Hand shared, the VA does participate in the spring and fall match, but each internship class starts in August. And my concluding slide is just another look at the benefits, which I had reviewed with all of you, but I do want to just remind those of you interested in the program that this is a paid internship during the 11 months of the dietetic internship. And we do have 2 options: a dietetic internship only option for those applicants who already have a master's degree, or we do have the internship combined with the master's degree program at Case for those applicants who may need to take that route. And then just in conclusion, providing my email, the application codes for the fall or the spring match. And again, thank you very much for your interest in the combined dietetic internship master's degree program at the Lewis Stokes VA and Case Western Reserve University.
Thank you, Mrs. Owen. We're doing another slide switch here, and then we'll hear from Professor Randall about the public health nutrition dietetic internship.
Thanks, Dr. Hand. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in and making it this far in the recording. I hope you enjoyed learning about the VA program. And now I am going to tell you a little bit more about the MS in Public Health Nutrition Dietetic Internship Program. So I am the director, I'm Tammy Randall, and you see on that slide a couple of our former interns in action. So a little bit about our program. Just as the VA and CASE have had a longstanding relationship providing a master's degree with a hospital-based internship, we have been training public health dietitians for a very long time. Our program, the degree, started in 1941. We were the first MS in public health nutrition in the United States. And there was field experience, which is what we basically call supervised practice in the public health world, included from the start. And we were accredited as a dietetic internship in 1986 because prior to, well, a little bit before that, there weren't dietetic internships when we started in 1941. And this program was the brainchild of the woman that you see down in the lower right-hand corner, Dr. Helen Hunter, who is a former Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics president, as well as the chair of our nutrition department. And she saw a need for a public health focus when it came to nutrition due to what was going on in the country in the early 1940s with the US entering World War II and seeing our soldiers being malnourished and the country having some issues with food supply and the economy. So it was very forward thinking in 1941. And so we continue the legacy of this program today. Like the one that you just heard about, it is a 16-month program. It begins in August and completes, technically graduation is in January of the following year, although everything really wraps up in December. And we match up to 7 interns each spring. The way our program looks is in the fall of the first year, we do our heavy load of classes. And then in January of the first year, you begin your supervised practice rotations with classes being on Mondays and or weeknights and internship Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. In the summer, you do what we call our block field experience, which is at a public health facility, usually away from Cleveland. I'll talk about that more in a minute. And then our final semester is fall of the second year, and you will have classes on Mondays or weeknights, and then internship again Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So what does our course schedule look like? In the fall of our first year, again, that's our heaviest schedule of courses. You have evidence-based practice for nutrition professionals, which is a 1 credit hour course, diabetes prevention and management, nutritional epidemiology, a 0 credit hour course that we think is really good for your professional development. That's leadership and professional development skills for biomedical sciences, and then 2 electives. In January or spring of your first year, when you start your rotations, you have a lighter course load. You take Intro to Public Health Nutrition and Seminar in Diabetes, Advanced Concepts and Current Trends. And then what's a little bit different about our program is that once you begin your supervised practice, you're actually enrolled in a course and you receive academic credit for that supervised practice. In the summer, we enroll you in Advanced Public Health Nutrition Field Experience. And then in fall of your second year, you again take Specialized Public Health Nutrition Field Experience with 2 courses, Public Health Nutrition and Pediatric Obesity. So as you might have guessed from the title of our program, we have a public health and community nutrition emphasis. And therefore, our largest block of supervised practice hours is in a public health facility. So during that summer, when you register for Nutrition 534, you will spend 12 weeks interning at a public health agency, and we have local, state, and federal options. And during that time, you function as public health RDNs, and you are able to do that because in Nutrition 528, as you are getting ready for your summer public health block field experience, you will complete a community needs assessment and to learn about the needs of that community that you will be working with. And then subsequently in the fall, after you return, you will do an agency program assessment to see if the programs and services offered matched the community needs that you determined. The one thing that I do want to say about our public health block is that, just as Mrs. Aun mentioned a few changes to their program due to COVID, our block preceptors working in public health programs, many of them, even today when we record this in September of 2022, are not yet full-time back in their offices. And so normally we would send you away to one of these sites to be immersed in that experience. However, since our preceptors are working remotely primarily, the last 3 summers, 2020, 2021, and this past summer, 2022, the majority of our students have worked remotely, and it has worked out just fine. We did have one student this past summer opt to go to her site. It was the New York City Department of Health and Mental Hygiene because her preceptor was back full-time. And so she was able to have that experience in the office. So some of our example sites are state WIC programs like Massachusetts or Utah. We have the Ohio Department of Health, the Ohio Department of Aging. We also have some US Department of Agriculture, Food and Nutrition Service regional offices. And we have the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention in Atlanta as example sites where you could complete your public health block field experience. But because you are completing the same type of supervised practice experience and will be taking the same exam as all other interns, and many of those complete hospital-based internships, you need to have the same set of skills. So when you are here in Cleveland, concurrently with taking classes, you will complete a counseling rotation, which is a little bit unique to our program. We really feel that before you get into an acute care setting where you have very ill patients and electronic medical records that are voluminous, and working with healthcare teams who expect you to really have that experience under your belt, we give you a counseling experience so that you can be in a low risk setting where you can learn to develop rapport with patients. We also do a food service management rotation. We primarily use schools. We have used long-term care facilities. Our acute care experience is either in a long-term care facility or a community hospital. And then we have a community rotation, and we have some examples here of the Hunger Network of Greater Cleveland, the Greater Cleveland Food Bank, or our Case Western Reserve University Prevention Research Center for Healthy Neighborhoods. Our program outcomes are very similar. Our graduates are qualified to take the RDN exam, and over the past 5 years, we have a 98% first-time pass rate. Our graduates are employed. We have 100% employment rate for those who choose to be employed within 6 months. And I say choose to be employed because some go on for further education. And we also have a number of graduates who are active member of professional organizations at the local, state, and national level of the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. After graduation, our students are all over the place. They are working in child nutrition, they're working in wellness, they're working in research, they're working in WIC, they're working in public health, state health departments. We have some health coaches, we have a nutrition coordinator for HelloFresh. And over the past, I would say 5 years, we have 5 or 6 students who've gone on to pursue doctoral degrees. Our financial details, they look a little bit different because we do have a summer course, so there's some credit for, or some tuition for those credits. Our total program cost, as you see on your screen, is $65,000. We do have a $15,000 stipend that comes from an endowment. It is dispersed in $5,000 increments after your first semester. So if you take the total program cost minus the stipend, you come in at about $50,000. And again, this is based on our 2022-2023 tuition rate. I can't see into the future to know what that second fall would be. Actually, all of these would be after 2022-2023, but it gives you a pretty darn close estimate. So if you are going to apply to our program, You are applying to Case Western Reserve University via DICAS. This is the confusing part because you just listened to another program that partners with Case Western Reserve University. But if you apply to Case Western Reserve University via DICAS, I will receive your application. And just like with the VA program, students who are admitted to the dietetic internship via the match will be accepted to our graduate school. And so therefore, there's no need to apply directly to the School of Graduate Studies until after you are matched to the internship, and we will follow up and tell you when it is time to do that. If you have any additional questions, you see my contact info on the screen, and I am happy to answer any questions that you have. Thank you for listening to this section, and I am now going to pass it back to Dr. Han for a little bit of wrap up.
Great, thank you. So we have here on the last slide just a reminder about all of our contact information and the program numbers that you'll need for DICAS should you choose to apply to one or both of our programs. We are happy to be contacted by you. If you have questions about the public health nutrition program, your best contact is Professor Randall. If you're interested in the VA program, your best contact is Mrs. Owen. And if you're interested in the master's portion of the VA internship, then I'm your best contact. But we all know each other, we all work together. And so if you get confused and contact the wrong person, we're happy to redirect you. We would love to see any of you and learn a little bit about you and answer any questions that you have about the programs. And so we will be at the NDEP Dietetic Supervised Practice Fair, which is from November 9th through 12th, 2022. You can see that Professor Randall's MS in Public Health Nutrition Dietetic Internship will be there at 11 a.m. Eastern Time on both Wednesday and Thursday. And the VA Dietetic Internship in Cleveland will be there also Wednesday and Thursday, 12:30 Eastern and 4 p.m. Eastern, respectively. So drop on in and ask questions at that. If you can't make one of our sessions at the Supervised Practice Fair, we also have Q&A sessions that we will all be at to answer questions about the VA and or the public health nutrition program. These sessions will be hosted on Thursday, December 8th and Thursday, January 19th, both at 7 p.m. Eastern via Zoom. The Zoom information will also be on our website. You do not need to RSVP. And it's important to note that these really are Q&A sessions. So you have listened to this recording, which we appreciate. And if you come to a Q&A session, that's really what it will be. You won't hear this recording again. So we always, again, are interested to hear a little bit about you and your interests and then answer whatever questions you might have about the program. So thank you for your interest in one or both of our programs. We're really looking forward to receiving your applications and to hearing from you with questions. And we just want to wish all of you the best as you complete this journey to your registered dietitian credential. So thank you.